I'm glad you found me. Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's get out of the rain and get settled in and talk a little 1111 true crime with Mama D. Remember, everything I share with you is only my opinion. I don't always agree with the ones that call me, but I respect their own expressions and beliefs. Opinions, speculation, it's all a part of every investigation, but it's only possibilities and theories based on our thoughts and feelings and not considered fact. Welcome home. Let's get in where it's warm. I've got us a nice crackling fire waiting. Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well tonight. Let's do a little sound check. You are watching a live. However, you may be watching replay. I want to humbly thank my beautiful replay crew. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. This is Mama D coming at you. We're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case and what all was said today and all that good stuff in the hearing. Now, we had two witnesses or two people testify. We had Brett Payne, Brett, Lord, and it's contagious. We had Brett Payne, the lead investigator of the Idaho 4 case, testify. I'm just saying, we got to talk about that. Followed by Cy Ray, which, we got to talk about that. Okay, I'm just saying, you guys, it's crazy. Let's go ahead and get some chat going here. Chloe says this will only go to trial because Idaho is corrupt to the Attorney General, in my opinion. Thank you for adding, in my opinion. You guys feel free to use I think, I feel, all the ways you want to express yourself. That way we can just tell when it's something that, is seriously tangible fact or when it's your opinion. All right, we have Mr. Ifs in the house. That's great. Tour 16. Dumplings Granny. Glad you made it live. Thank you. Thank you. Kelly Porter says, finally, I never make the lives. Well, look at that. I'm glad a lot of you made the lives. Look at this. Jay says, I'm so excited. This is my first live. This is the first live I'm going to be able to watch. I'm always on replay crew. Look at that. That's great. Hey, Jennifer Swain, my lovely. Another beautiful mod. Sin City, Robin Davis Ducksworth. And Robin Henson. Hello. All right, you guys. Welcome to everybody. And welcome back, Sin City, to our Starlight Seeds. I know you were one before. I'm glad you came back to us. So, let's get into it. Let's try to unpack this. So what it boiled down to, it was like the snotty-nosed little Eddie Haskell gets up on the stand and literally can't remember anything and says yes ma'am a lot, and everything was like, well, I don't know how to do that, so I rely on experts. And then I'm thinking the whole time, yeah, you rely on people that are like, Cy Ray, right? So Brett Payne showed that he lacks the experience because he didn't even know where some of the evidence was. And he's a lead investigator. And he was clueless, right? Anybody else feel that way? Or is it just me? Eddie Haskell, right? Taurus 16. Welcome back, Mr. Ifs. Hello, Lucy Lou. And Jilly Lane. It's been a day of justice for some, right? In the Chad Daybell case. Yep. Guilty. So, when it comes to the information that I found the most interesting is when he used the words likely. So Brett Payne is on the witness stand, or not witness, but the stand in the hearing. And he is explaining about the video footage, right? And trying to use that to match some mapping that he's doing because he's got the FBI guy talking in his ear, another guy talking in his ear. He's like, yeah, okay. All right. He says, we were using that. And then he says, because it would be likely. How is that Kohberger's vehicle, the suspect's vehicle, whatever, likely? How solid is that it's likely Kohberger's? Is a jury going to put a man through the DP to the DP on likely? And I'd be like, oh, you're being so picky, Mama D. Why are you picking on that word? Because there's no work behind it. Like the guy that testified right before him on the previous hearing basically knew absolutely nothing, didn't even view the footage, didn't know what the hell was going on, right? And then we get Brett Payne on the stand, and he is naming that guy as one of his big sources. And I'm like, it's a circle jerk. It just blew my mind. SW Fireflyer says 100% accurate, and Eddie Haskell is a perfect analogy. Laugh my butt off. Right? Ugh. You also say, bottom line, they cherry picked and left out potential exculpatory evidence, in my opinion. Dumpling Granny says, this case is just as troubling as the Delphi case, in my opinion. Both are set up. Hold on just a minute, you guys. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so I want to let me see if I've got this set up. Yeah, I've got a little clip. Now, there was some amazing things that Cy said, and I've got it recorded. The live is still up. You guys go feel free to view the whole thing. But I thought it was interesting, like, Cy went through all the stuff, and he's like, there's missing, there's missing important criteria, right? There's missing details. And so I don't know what I think because I don't have those details. So Cy is pointing out that they are missing details, right? But he also doesn't buy this scenario. I believe, now I could have this wrong, you guys, it got so confusing, but that the warrants were both followed up on the same day. I don't know. I'm going to play some of this for you. I'll let you sort it out. Okay? Let's see. Where is it going to pop up at? Okay, let me go back over to another window. Hold on, y'all. We got to move it. We got to move it, move it, move it. Something about like that. Okay. Hopefully this is loud enough. I'll watch it. I'm going to mute for a minute. We're going to play this for a second. I want you to listen to what Cy is talking about. He is spelling it out like clear as a bell right here. Okay, here we go. Let me mute my mic. Otherwise, we'll have birds the entire time over the trial. Okay. Hopefully they start talking.
Sorry. All right. Good? Not on the record yet. We're not on the record. Okay, we are back on record. This is State versus Kohberger, CR 2922-2805. Everybody I identified previously are still here in the courtroom. Mr. Cy is testifying. We are still on direct. Ms. Taylor, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ray, when we left off at our break, I was about to talk to you about the CAS draft report.
Okay.
So we'll start there. Have you reviewed a CAS draft report in Mr. Kohberger's case?
I have.
And from your review of that report, can you tell what records were relied on by Agent Balance to create that report?
That report would include, he had to have the AT&T CDRs, the full 6 months, a tower list to make some conversions that I'm seeing on the report, and also drive test data, which would be another form of source data, and then a mapping platform to ingest the drive test data into to analyze it to create these shapes that are then put into the draft report.
Okay, I think I have that. Do we have the same call detail records that Nick Balance used to create his draft report?
Yes, well, I believe so.
Do those records appear to come from the December 23rd, 2022 to AT&T warrants?
I would say primarily the second warrant from what I've reviewed.
And is that because the CAST draft report spans the full 6 months of those records?
That is correct.
Okay, and those records, did those come from the second AT&T search warrant?
That is also correct.
Can you tell anything about the tower report or how the tower information was used by Agent Nick Balance?
The tower identifiers that are predominantly used, not exclusively, but predominantly used in the CAS draft report did not come from the report AU. If there's a conversion that can be made, and someone would have to have the national AT&T tower list, or at least the regional list. And I would take information from the CDRs. I would look at certain columns in this AT&T tower list, and I could get certain identifiers that are now being populated to the CAS report, if that makes sense.
Do we have a copy of the tower list that you believe was used?
We recently received 4 different versions. And when I say versions, they're just by month. And I believe we have August, September, November, and maybe December, or maybe it's in October. I'd have to go back and look. So far, I've only had time to look at the November. And from what I can tell, all of that appears to be accurate.
Would we need the October or the missing month to be able to do our work accurately?
It's a really good practice. I'm sure that's why the FBI included it. If I'm mapping records over a long period of time, like in this case, 6 months, I do want to see the different versions of the tower list to make sure that if a change was made within the network during that 6-month period, a tower I map in July may map differently in November. So it is important to have that data.
Okay, you guys, so I am not an expert. I barely understand it myself. So take what I share with you about this CAS stuff with a grain of salt. However, what it sounds like is it's like they call it a CAS because they're using networking. They're using anything digital that, think of like a ping, right? Whether it's a phone ping or your GPS on your vehicle or a stoplight, whatever it is that would be able to be used. Let's say you went from the store to the laundromat and it took you 30 minutes. And during that time, there would be things that would happen along your way that would digitally set your footprint on a path. And so what they refer to as a CAST report is using all the technology to track whatever it is digitally that you left as a footprint to figure out where you went, when you went there, and so forth. The complications are the work, such as we use this camera at this time, we use this camera at that time, we use this phone at this time, is all missing. All we have is the report, and it's like a a little off the cuff kind of thing saying, all right, we got Brian, what we believe to be Brian, on Highway 95 at approximately this time. So that's what my belief is, what a cast report is, and what we're doing. But again, I'm a mom. That's it. I don't even begin to try to understand the technical terms of a cast report. But I hope that helps. I hope that helped. All right, let's watch a little bit more.
We have 4 of the 6 months, but not the other 2.
Oh, and by the way, you are watching and I am watching this, which is an earlier recording with that live chat on it. So don't get confused, but that's why our chat's not showing up, because it's being replaced with an earlier chat bubble, okay? It happened to be people that were on the live.
Correct. It would be helpful to even maybe see May, because there may not have been an update made in late June, early July. So May's would be what I would start with.
Can you tell if drive testing was done to create that cast draft?
Yes, there's images in the latter part of the report up around slides 100 and above. I believe there's a total of 4 images that were populated to that report that would require drive testing.
So he's talking about drive, as in drive your car, testing, the scenario that has been gathered. So it's all well and good to put all this data into a computer and say, pop out the map, right? So the computer's going to like put everything in chronological order of the data and put a ping every so often wherever the event took place. And yes, you can hear the boys, my Jack Russells, running and zooming and playing. They're brothers. So when they get this report and they run this report, the Maori, or whatever his name is, he didn't even save his work. He just took a screenshot of it and was like, there you go. That's a map. Well, what did you use to pinpoint and make this map? Why is that being hidden? And I think Anne's going after this so incredibly hard because she truly does not believe Brian was anywhere near where they're saying. And why? Because Cy believes that he can put Brian Kohberger using his own methods that he's developed and has procured a livelihood from, even working, what appeared or what sounded like some sort of special ops with our government. So he knows his stuff. And so you've got Eddie Haskell, and then you're looking at the dad. He knows his stuff. Cy Ray, there is no doubt in my mind, absolutely knows what he's talking about. Brett Payne doesn't even understand how to turn that machine on. And Cy Ray, because of his knowledge and his experience with this equipment on phone data, he's very knowledgeable, as he put it, intimate, right? He's going to know if they're trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Now, I want a Cy Ray version for the DNA, because they use unimaginable mathematical problems to overwhelm the public. Go look up how many loci the FBI require for a DNA match. It's going to tell you 21. I want to know how many of those did Brian match. Because if he matched 21, we know that they really made that test happen. Nobody, it's not going to be that perfect of a test. I'm just saying. We had the whole DNA blow up in the Steve Avery case where nobody knew what they were talking about. They overwhelmed the public with these nonsense of quinzillion numbers, 27 zeros, and they got sent to prison. And when we found out that there was 7 matched loci, I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, so it was an upright human? That's all we know? For real? It's beyond belief. Truly. So I hope that Anne has a DNA expert at this level that Cy Ray is with the phone. Because if she does, this case, I believe, in my humble opinion, won't make it to trial. That's just my thought. If she has that DNA expert like this.
When somebody's doing drive testing, do you expect data to be produced?
Absolutely. Creating a work product that uses drive testing and then coming into court and testifying without the drive testing is no different than creating an exhibit like this and then saying, well, we don't have to produce the AT&T records that created this. The source data for drive testing is the drive test.
Do we have the drive testing that was done by the FBI to help create that report?
We have what I believe is the majority. There are some significant pieces missing.
There are some significant pieces missing. Right? Why? Why would the very significant pieces of a puzzle that they have used already in the grand jury scheme of things to get an indictment, get Brian over here, now we got this trial, and now they're like, we're not going to hand it all over right now.
Can't say that those missing pieces exist and haven't been turned over, or they were erroneously not collected. I don't know which, but there are some pretty significant pieces that are missing.
I'm going to ask you some questions about that. But first, I want to know when you first saw drive testing data that was produced to us in Discovery. What did that cover?
I found a file in the Discovery, I want to say early December, that included drive test, but it was about a 3-minute sample that covered less than a quarter of a mile in a completely irrelevant location. So it added no value to my analysis at all.
What were you looking for? What time frame and location were you looking for based on the CAS draft report review?
I would expect significant drive testing around any location that coverage maps were being used in the CAS report. I would expect significant documentation on potential routes that this device may have taken. I would expect significant documentation on the crime scene.
Well, he ain't wrong. But he's not seeing it all. He's missing significant documentation. Why? Y'all, if it all happened like the state is saying and it went down like that, why would there be any reason to obscure any evidence? Wouldn't you be like, oh yeah, go ahead, try to get out of this one and hand it over, right? So it shows a lack of confidence. It shows there's something amiss here, right?
You just told us that you think we have most of it, but there's some significant parts that are missing.
Yeah, and I want to qualify that just so it's really clear because I understand it's starting to get very technical. There's over 500,000 lines of data that was turned over. So I'll make it clear, there's a lot of data that has been produced. I would say, in my opinion, looking at what's been produced, probably 2 or 3% is missing, but it's not the amount of data or the time of the data, it's the locations of the data. Some of the most, it's the locations of the data. Some of the most significant locations in this case, we're missing some data.
It's not that they're missing a great deal amount, it's that they're missing the most important pieces, right? And why? I know I keep asking that. I sound like a broken record, but I'm just saying, why not be honest? All right, you guys, you heard what he had to say. Let's get out of that. Let's head back over. Since he says the fact that significant information is missing speaks volumes. I agree. I agree. Hello, brown sugar baby. How are you doing? I'll be back in again tonight as we still have Percy. Oh, honey. You're fine, Az. Don't worry about it. Go tend to your baby, of course. Absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I just came on because I was asked to. I'm not going to be on very long because I am wiped out. We did 4 hours today. It was like almost 4 hours of bat hearing. And it did kind of fry us all, our brains. And I can see not a lot of people can handle any more court right now. I do know that the Chad Daybell court, as Jenny and Mr. Ifs follow that, were saying that he was found guilty of everything. So that's good. Let's see. Can I do this still? There it is. Dumplings Gimme says that's huge in my opinion. Yeah, I want to know the exact locations. Hey, Mr. Billy T, you got looking like a fool with your pants. So I added that. With your pants on the ground. I mean, you're showing your butt a little bit there, Mr. Santa Claus. It's not proper. It's just not. No worries, Az. Do your thing. Go do your thing. Cyrus Best says, that is insane. I'm so tired of us saying, where are the where are the files? Where's the paperwork? Why? I mean, y'all, I can't. It just makes my head hurt. If y'all want to talk about that now, we can. I didn't want to talk about a different case while we were watching the trial, but now I feel like it'd be a good time because we're in chill mode. See, Bevan Borden says, I was following Daybell and Kohberger at the same time. I know what took place, but I did not follow it per se. I mean, I get the gist of that case, but it was such a horrific crime that I avoided it because I just got nauseous. The whole, religious cult freaked me out. It totally freaked me out. Truly. Someone else found guilty today as well. Thank you, ST, in my opinion. I don't know who you're talking about. Dreamweaver 2 says, oh yes, this is the way they actually get paid the big money to not be very professional, in my opinion. Where's the beep? That's why I feel like we can't get to the meat of what we need in that cast report. It's like a cake. All right, you're going to bake this wonderful cake. And you have absolutely there are so many ingredients in this cake. There are 60 ingredients in this cake we're going to bake. And the FBI has all the ingredients basically with Moscow, okay? Between them, they got it, and the prosecution has some of it. Now, when it's all said and done, after almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, we have all the ingredients to bake the cake but the flour. And they want us to go bake the cake. And Anna's saying, I do not have the damn flour. It won't be a cake. I'm just saying. C.A. Bevanport says, absolutely. I do feel everybody's wiped out. I mean, I've never had so many people quiet in my life. Like, I think we need to do something different. We need to liven it up. Let's get over here. Let's see what we can do. Let's put some sound on. We'll get some crickets going. Is it working? Nothing? Is that too loud? JJJ plays dumb in my opinion. NT was boss today. That's a little bit loud for me. I'm going to pull it back a bit. Brown Sugar says, I had to leave the live hearing earlier. Did the judge make a ruling ordering the prosecution to give the defense everything that they have? What do you think, love? It was it was a no-show. Oh, no. There was at one point where JJJ was listening to Anne, and she's like, I just really need these reports. We've been asking for them. You said that they had to give them to us back in March. We still don't have them. And Judge was like, okay. And you don't have the reports? But why do you need the reports? And she was like, I don't want to go through all this. You've already said we need the report. We need the reports because if they're going to argue anything against my client at all, and they're using that information to make the argument, I need that information. It's part of his due rights. Here, I'll quote another court case where it's quite clear. And he's like, oh. And who do you want me to talk to? And she's like, I thought to myself, is he plain stupid or is he truly a Muppet? Do you guys remember the two old Muppets that had it looked like the judge's outfit on, and they were up in the balcony, right? That's Santa and the judge, JJJJ. Ruby Slipper says, how long can a person be in jail waiting for trial? Well, Brian Kohberger gave up his right to a speedy trial. So, I don't think there's anything. Jillian Lane says, I had enough with Lori. Who's Lori? I only hear crickets, Ruby Slippers. Oh, do you not hear me? I'm sorry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. As says, agreed. Also, I am so happy that Ann Taylor is finally doing her job. I think she was ready to play Dirty Triangle with JJJ and his paddle buddy, so she clearly had an awakening moment. The crickets are making you sleepy, Lucy Loohoo. So, these are the screens I make now. You can go check them out over on Tranquil Views. Tranquil View. And I just make these for fun. Those are real crickets. And I have found that after I put my brain to work all day with true crime, I just need to settle down, relax, let my brain kind of recharge. We plug in our phone. What about plugging in our brain? Just something nature, something with a rhythm in it. Me and Tina said the same thing. I took a nap to a couple of these that I made. I'm going to tell you, the nature, cadence, that rhythm, you wake up and you feel like you slept solid. Right? Aw, Juniper, thank you for that snooper chat. $50. Thank you, lovely. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you. You're always very, very generous. You say this could go on for years. I mean, seriously. Taurus said JJJ was so frustrating. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like when Dumb and Dumber are in the van and he turns and he looks at his friend and he's like, you know what the most annoying sound is? Right? And then the judge just kind of kept repeating the same thing over and over again. And I was like, gonna have heart failure. Like, we don't have the dates of some of this stuff, right? That's the defense. We don't even know when this occurred. And then the state's like, well, some of it has the dates. JJ Weaver says, JJ, stop acting like a fool with your pants on the ground. You're looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. You wish you had this house? I love it because I actually just recently saw the Northern Lights. And so this was very, very appropriate. Jennifer Swain says, I feel like I'm in a tent. I love it. I love making these because I can virtual travel. C.A. Bevan says, JJJ said he didn't understand tower density. Are used to live by crickets. Oh, I think Dreamweaver means I used to. I used to live by crickets and some frogs croak, and then I like swampy sound. Animal critters sounds, and boy oh boy, I just love it. So thanks for the curtains, Mama D. Aw, thank you, lovely. Sherry Cross says, it was all painful and AT was too nice. Y'all, there was a moment where I wanted Anne to like lose her crap. I just wanted her to go off. I wanted her to be like, Judge John, I have to tell you that if you keep playing these games like this, you're not going to get a trial because I'm going to quit this damn job. I wanted her to be like, take this job and shove it. No, I don't. Because she is doing a great job. But I want them to realize they messed with the wrong girl. She's the eye of the tiger, right? As says, I've been researching to your new spaces. Love them. Thank you, lovely. C.A. Bevanford says, we have frogs that hatch after rainstorms. I just like making different, like, places I can visit. This one puts my dogs to sleep. And me, too. Dreamweaver 2 says, the whole world is watching these professionals on this case and rolling their eyes. What the heck is wrong with these bloomin' idiots? Tater tots! Tater tots! Pin Dizzy, hello lovely, you say. AT had to literally slow down for JJJ. Did you catch that, Pin Dizzy? Yeah, she did. That's why I did that. That's why I was like, if you don't. Because she was losing it. I think she was like, I'm going to pull my hair out. Could you see Ann Taylor if she went off on little Brett Payne? It'd be like be talking to a kindergartner because she's super tall and he's super short. And she'd have to like kneel down to talk to him. And she'd have to be like this. She'd have to be like, listen here, you little rookie. You may think you pulled one over on all of us, but you haven't seen anything yet. You're about to meet the Master Jedi, Cy-Ray. And then there'd be like this music. Boom, boom, boom. And Brett Payne would be like, yes, ma'am. And Taylor knows this could help her career. That's true. You're right, Jennifer Swain. She's too cool for that. Mama D could not be a lawyer. I would have lost it on Payne. She's up against the old boys club up in the North Idaho. And boy, is that a club. Pin Dizzy says, yep. Jennifer Swain, I'm giving you frogs right now, baby. Pin Dizzy says, he was not picking up on what any of them were putting down. Pin Dizzy says Brett was a knob, a shiny knob. I think he was dull. I know you're talking about his noggin being the shine dome. But I mean, he was like, I don't remember. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. Vaguely, I remember that. I can look at these paperworks and I will flip the pages, but I didn't do any of the work. Nope. They gave me this badge and they told me everything and told me to figure it out. And I went over there and I took out my pack of crayons and I began to draw on the back of the Pizza Hut menu, the map that I guessed from what everybody told me. And no, I didn't save that map because I had gotten pizza stain on it. The key players in court used too many. I don't know, maybes. I think so. Where are the definitives, Sherry Cross? I agree, Taurus. Cyree was dominating. Jennifer Swain's giggling. C.A. Bevanport says, even John Pryor is qualified for death penalty cases after the case from what I have read. Pin Dizzy says, typical dirty L.E. says, I do not recall. Pin Dizzy says, maybe Murphy ate the homework. Boom. Thank you, Rachel. Ooh, Sherry, that's a long one. I'll have to read it. Sherry Cross says, how far Ann Taylor can go before they hammer her behind the scenes. As it is, she's a little rogue for them right now. I think because she has a choice, she can get to the truth, but they won't let her. I don't know. I'm behind her. I'm behind her. I want her to win. I want her to win. Whoops. You're right, Jennifer Swain. He was the lead detective. Give me a break. He didn't know a damn thing. I don't remember. I don't know. All right, let me think real hard about it. Okay, I was on the short bus and I was, I don't remember. I was peeling off the paper from my crayons and then that guy talked to me. And squirrel, then that guy talked to me and then squirrel. Yeah, he didn't remember anything. C.A. Bevanport says, and JJJ was whining about spreadsheets. I have to say, the fact that we don't know what a list is in Moscow, like they keep saying inventory. I was head of inventory for an eggplant. The eggplant didn't run if I didn't have pails and all the ingredients and blah, blah, blah. All right? Now, one thing I will tell you is I haven't heard them use the word list, L-I-S-T, which is almost as if they're trying to say the word list with never using the word list. Like, can't Ann just say, I want a documented list of absolutely everything for each statement you plan on making. A document list of where are you getting this information from. If you're going to say Brian was at the roller skate rink on this time frame at that time, which I'm just making stuff up, then show me what camera you used. Where did you get that info from? Right? We just want to know the truth. But they know, she knows they can't do it, in my opinion. Yes, Payne kept passing the buck. That's because he's a doe. He ain't got no testicles. He did toss Billy under the bus a little bit. He kind of shrugged his shoulders off when he did that. If I start hearing tree knocks, I'm running. Pendizzi says, did you see how dead quiet BT was and how his partner didn't stand up while addressing the court? Now, I don't know if that was something medical that she couldn't stand up. I'm going to leave it at that. But, yeah. Santa was dead quiet. Like old Tommy Boy, he didn't even sputter a sound. A curious Rose says looks like he was napping, like Thompson was napping. I agree. Hello, Ghost Annan. I haven't seen you in a bit. You say this case should have been tossed a long time ago. Good point, Taurus. They didn't. They did not cross-examine Cy Ray at all. There wasn't one question from the prosecution of Cy Ray. I mean, that says a lot. She did stand up after the recess pin, Dizzy. I don't know. It was weird. Hey, Divine Pathways, True Crime made it. Fell asleep. Just woke up. And now we got sleepy time music on. Santa was snoozing. The judge looked like he was sleeping. Why doesn't he just bring a pillow next time? Judge, not doing the right thing. Pendizzy says those two were eager to jump up in the first hearing, almost pushing Anne over to get up there. Right? Right? Let's go back over to this one. Oh, hold on. We got to quiet it. We need to hush it. There we go. Let's get back over to this one. You can watch the paintings change. It's got a magic painting. Sherry Krause says, I cracked up when Payne said there should be a report from an officer. Because if you watch any of the bubbly water videos, you know that Moscow police have an allergy to writing all police reports. Well, that's not just Moscow. Any time, okay, that you have misfits, when you have tater tots that are in charge and have badges, they're not going to document. They're not, because they don't want you knowing what was going on. Ghost Annan believes that JJJ is biased and that you can see it all over his face. I'm just saying. He made me want to spank his face awake today. The 411 Divine Pathways says that they didn't cross because they knew he would give them the 411. The down low, the scoop. Ruby Slipper says Santa might be partaking in that hose things going around the bars where he sings. I don't even know what that meant. Sherry Cross says BT is past retirement, I'm sure. Unlike Fry, who retired in his 50s. Rachel says he hides under his whoop belt, now behind his beard. Taurus says, Fine Pathways, I believe you're right there, and I also love your readings. Pendizzy says, maybe JJJ was writing Billy a song today. I was going to say a love song. They were no match for Cy Ray. I agree with you, Taurus. Ghost Annan says, I think they didn't cross because he would have put Payne on blast. My brain is fried. Talk about Fry. My brain is fried. Pendizzy, I think Fry retired to get the fudge out of Dodge. Hold on, y'all. I gotta grab a drink. I'm gonna mute for a minute. Enjoy the crackling fire. I'm working on another one. Hold on. Where is it? Nope. Okay, here's this one. What do you guys think of that one? I haven't finished it. I'm just working on it. Sounds weird with the fire. It would have ocean waves and all kinds of stuff, but I'm working on it. It's kind of cute. There's our snow one. Oh, this is our latest, but I don't have the sound on this one. It looks so cozy, doesn't it? I had such a fun time making the painting change. I was like, oh, it's gotta have ships in it. Yeah, it was like a Barbie dream. That's what I'll call it, Taurus. I'm gonna write that down. Hold on. Gave me a good idea. It's gonna have the ocean waves behind it. We'll put, oh, I can't use Barbie dream because I'll get, Mattel will copyright me. I would love to use that. Ghost Annan says, let me get up here. Cute. I should model my Roblox house after it. Right? Santa slippers. No. You know I'm getting tired. I called Ruby slippers Santa slippers. Oh, Lord. Santa had more than eggnog, and his white beard is hiding his stash, or holding his stash, in my opinion. You guys, I'm telling you, it's been a long, long day. I'm about ready to get off here. But I didn't want to let you guys down. I said I'd come on for a short time tonight. We could kind of go over the basics, and now you get the true idea. And that is that the most critical part of baking the cake, of knowing where Kohberger's vehicle actually was, the most important critical parts are what is missing from the reports being given to the defense. So, we cannot afford, when we have a life on the line here, to just assume anything. We need to see the work. How are they going to show us the work they did when they didn't even save their work? Make sure and let me know what your thoughts are. Should this case have been dismissed already? Should this case be going to trial? Listen to the kitty purr. I added that. And if you look really close, the little kitty's breathing up and down. All right, my lovelies. Oh, we should do that. I should do that. One with Santa sitting there here drinking eggnog. I'll probably do that closer to Christmas. I don't know. I don't know how many of these I'm going to make. Is it changing over the fireplace? Yes, Norma. Lovely. I make these really detailed, actually. Truly. You have to pay close attention. Little things change. If you watch in a minute, it's a magic ship changing. Look at that. Boom. Yes, this case should be tossed. Norma says, I think so. Sherry says it should be dismissed. Make sure and let me know in the comments down below if you're on replay. Sherry says, is it the fact that evidence was destroyed by Dylan and Bethany calling all the friends over and everything being cleared or cleaned up? Isn't that enough to dismiss this case? Tani wants to know, are you leaving? Lovely. I've spent almost 5 hours with you guys today. I appreciate every one of you, though, and I thank you for spending 5 hours with me. I wouldn't want to spend 5 hours with anybody rather than you. I think that's wonderful that you chose to be with me. Santa with the blonde, yelling at him, ha 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 ha. And I have to make one for trial so we can, make it so that we are feeling more like we're in the audience of the trial somehow. I don't know, that could be weird. That's right, Ruby Slippers. This is no joke. A guy has lost years of his life due to this corruption. You're right. You're right. All right, my lovely Lous. I hope that these clowns can't use this so-called evidence that they can't show the work. Be not submissive. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Sherry says, don't go. I'm going to leave you all right now. I'm going to switch you over. I'm going to leave you to relax. Check out my new channel over there, Twinkle Views. I promise you, if you give it a try, it will not hurt you. It will do only helpful things because it's all nature sounds. So if you need to clear, even just take a nap and clear your mind, do it. Do it. Let's shut this one off. We'll get back over here. And I love you to the moon and back.